Thanks for joining me. I'm here as part of Evening Standard Shop London event, and yeah, we're going to do a drawing session together. I'm going to use the collaboration that I've just done with Lulu Guinness as inspiration. That is here and here and here. So yeah, we're going to mostly look at the patterns that I've used and all the colours, and bring that to the page to hopefully create something really fun as a final piece. So yeah, if you want to gather all your equipment together, paper, lots of colours, whatever colours you have, just bring them to the table. Don't worry if I didn't mention them on the list. And also some scissors and glue will be really helpful. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. Okay guys, I'm just going to show you what equipment I have got ready to work with. I got my paper, glue and scissors, which you will need towards the end of the exercise. I might do a teeny bit of paint. I wouldn't use too much paint, but that will become clear why later on. And then I've just got lots and lots of different colours. I've got some kind of felt tips going on, Sharpies and marker pens, and lots of oil pastels. My total favourite, these big chunky crayons here. I absolutely love them. And yeah, so why not, I guess, use this exercise just to like explore as many different kinds of equipment as you have got. And obviously if you've not got lots available right now, you can do this exercise again, you know, in your own time. So I'm going to clear this away and we will get started. Okay guys, so yeah, get your paper ready. I'm gonna take some inspiration from these pieces from my collaboration, and I'm mostly going to be looking at the patterns. So what's going to happen is, it's going to move that one to the side. What's going to happen is you're going to fill your page with patterns. I'm going to start off with some yellow for this area here, okay? I've got my paper I've got my paper landscape. I usually work portrait direction, but yeah, just because of the camera angle, it's going to be easier like this, but it totally is up to you right now which angle, which direction you have your paper. So you can see I'm really just getting started straight away. The idea is, probably I've already said this, is to fill this page with patterns. I'm going to be looking at these patterns here, but feel free to maybe look around your surroundings. Is there anything inspirational? I don't know, your curtains. Maybe your curtains are really lovely. Or maybe you're wearing something that's colourful. Let's change that colour actually. Maybe you're wearing something that's colourful that you're also going to incorporate onto the page. The idea is, I can't seem to get my colours that I'm after. The idea is that all the patterns, you're going to try and get at least, like, let's say 2 or 3 different kinds of patterns onto the page. And the idea is that they all join up so that they become one. It's, yeah, I would actually work the other way round if you're doing this. Hopefully you are, no ifs. Hopefully you are drawing. Yeah, I'd work the other way around. It just kind of sometimes works a little better. And also, don't worry, I'm maybe not going to stick really strictly to the actual colours. So yeah, that's fine to do that as well. Don't worry if you're not getting the exact colours. But yeah, basically work kind of speedily. I really always like to work at a decent speed. There's loads of good reasons to work speedily. A few being that you kind of bring a certain energy to the page. You're like, sometimes when you overthink things, they feel a little bit uptight and you can tell that you're overthinking. So yeah, moving a little faster, I think, just also takes away some fear. You can see I'm kind of going a little bit off-piste right now. That's something that I have a habit of doing. I think talking and drawing, sometimes I get a bit distracted, but I'm keeping the feeling of these marks that I've used for the collection. I'm going to actually move on to looking at the scarf now, because it's got a little bit more of a stripe that I'm kind of interested in putting down there. Let's put that there. So yeah, I'm going to actually put the stripe vertical, just hope that you can see this. Oh, and actually I've just realised that I've been using a lot of the same kind of equipment. It is actually really, aside from the ink, it is really nice when you're doing this. If you, oh, I love that noise. It is really nice when you're doing this if you can start to like add some variety onto the paper. And yeah, so whatever you've got available, let's try and use every single piece that you have. So yeah, here we go. Now this exercise, it's in a few different stages. We're starting with the patterns, but then we're going to start to bring a figure into it. It is fun, and I kind of feel sometimes I'm doing like a little children's show here, but this is actually something I teach to students of mine, because as well as a designer or artist or whatever I am, I also teach from time to time as well. So yeah, I'd actually do this exercise with university students. So yeah, if you think, oh, this is for children, well, I mean, what's wrong with things for children? I think that's play. I think play is where you really can find like some exciting outcomes. Let's put some lips on there. Haven't put any lips. Let's have a lip or two, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna overlap it into that other print so that we're getting a nice variety. And you might have lots and lots and lots of space left. So what I could have said, should have said at the start, think about working to a decent scale as well, because we want to fill this page in, you know, like a pretty short amount of time. But what you can do, if you have got quite a lot of space left, you can see like on some of the products, like I've got some blocks of color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my space. And in fact, what I'm going to do as well, I am actually going to turn it around. So I know you won't see everything on the page within the camera, but turning things around as well when you're working like this, it just starts to give you a different viewpoint. So you're seeing it almost in a different light when you turn it around. So maybe just try that now as you're just filling in all the gaps. Again, totally optional. But I'm going to put in some color blocks, which is referencing, scribbling over that lip on there. That's the thing, we're just being really intuitive with it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, this is kind of like a real favorite of mine. Get a piece of paper, another piece of paper, a little smaller this time, and just fold it in half. Okay, and mine's a little grubby, that's fine though. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut the shape of a t-shirt out of this paper. Okay, I can, you know, I said a t-shirt, but really I guess it can be any shape that you want, but the main thing is make sure it's not too big. Okay, and what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to draw a little face on there, because why wouldn't you? There we go, and some arms, hands, etc. All right, so yeah, just kind of add some limbs to your template. And we've created a viewfinder basically. And what this allows you to do, this is kind of like a design technique basically, which I just have found like extremely useful in my career, in my education, and it just allows you to understand your drawing on a larger scale basically. So yeah, if there's anybody that's watching this that's a print designer, or anybody that's designing and really likes to use color, that's cute, likes to work with color, it can help with that. But yeah, it just puts your drawing in a different context. So I absolutely love it. And what I'd suggest, you know, if you use this this exercise as you know, part of your design process. Say if you're a design student, take a photograph, but just make sure you just have the white, okay? And just maybe if I hold that up closer, you can see there's my design. Wonderful. So basically we've just drawn like very, very quickly, like a page full of patterns, and suddenly we've started to create our own print designs as well. I didn't mention that at the start. Oh, that's nice. I'm into this. There we go. Because like I said, I wasn't really, and be honest, I'm very honest, I'm not really into this page, but with techniques like this, you can, oh, that's nice, like that too. With techniques like this, you can always find something good. So you might have, as well, say you're an artist, you're a student, you might have some work that you've already done, like previously, that you don't like and you're about to throw away. But what I would say is don't throw it away. Try using this viewfinder first of all and see if you can find any goodness. And like, yeah, I got taught this in my BA, in my, oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, that works. I got taught this in my BA in my final year, and it literally changed my life. The most simplest thing ever, but for me, so useful. Anyway, I'm going to move on. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of this, keep hold of it. Maybe you're going to use it for other things. And yeah, get your scissors. Here we are. And we're going to cut this piece of paper up. Okay. All right, guys. So first of all, if unlike me, you are thrilled with your artwork here, take a photograph of it. Okay, that's the first thing, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut the figure out of this page. First of all, so photograph it first, then decide which way up do you want it. That's the first thing. Don't overthink this. The whole nature, I think, of this whole workshop is not to overthink. I do think thinking holds you back. It can really limit your creative process. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to cut a figure out of this piece of paper. Okay, I'm actually, let's put this one here, it'll be easier. I'm going to look at this lady here, but what you can do, if you do have anyone in the room, and this is ideal, if you have anyone with you, ask them to model for you. Grab someone, press pause, grab someone, and yeah, get them to stand in a pose for you. And what's going to happen is we're going to cut out. So I'm actually, again, I'm kind of going to make up that she's got some legs. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And you might notice, I don't know how well this is going to translate for you in terms of, let me put this here so you can see what I'm drawing. There you go. So yeah, what you might notice for anybody who is highly skilled in terms of drawing the figure, that I've started with the feet. Okay, normally I would start with the head when I'm doing any kind of illustration that involves the figure, but this time I just find it, in terms of cutting, I just find it a lot easier to start with the feet. The second thing that's super important, you can kind of see I'm making this up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's, I mean, if you've seen any of my work, I very much, I really do observe, and I love to observe and just find the interesting like details. But what I really like with this exercise is that you can be a little bit more kind of freestyle. Obviously I'm gonna have to make a second arm up. I've only got one arm on there. Notice, you know, like, this is a ridiculously long arm, but I'm in charge. This is my drawing, and I want this figure to have like ridiculously long arms. It just makes me smile. It's more fun that way. Notice I keep saying drawing. I've very much gone off piece with the figure. It's meant to be this gal here. Notice I keep saying drawing. I'm not drawing, well, I am drawing with my scissors. Put an extremely large foot there. I'm drawing with my scissors, and I haven't done an outline first, okay? I just think it's way more fun to see what you're gonna end up with. It feels more spontaneous, it's more authentic, just going for it with the scissors. So here is my person, okay? Again, Here's my horizontal person just kind of lying down. There we go. You can just about see it all in this shot. But what's really important, as well as having a person, what's really important is to also have this cut out, this leftover that should all be in one piece, okay? I meant to mention that as we were going along. Hopefully, I've caught you in time and yours is in one piece too, okay? So I'm going to move this to the side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a face to my figure. It's a little bit too crowded on there, I think, almost for me to put a face on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just put a piece of paper on there, okay? So then immediately you have the space to put in your face. So yeah, I've just done a funny little face there. Maybe I'll give it a chin. And there we go. We kind of have a figure. Again, you're like, oh, well, it's like for a child. Maybe you're not saying that. Maybe I'm saying that. But what I want to tell you about this, first of all, is you can use it for a final illustration. I'm going to show you how we can finish it. So, you know, it can work as a final drawing. Maybe you're going to put it on your wall, or maybe you're a student, or maybe you're a fashion designer, and this is just going to help change the way that you might think about designing. So for example, why I find it useful is if you're a print designer, it's now helped you understand how to curate your prints onto the body, basically. So suddenly I've got these, like, I mean, unfortunately, they kind of look like some drop crotch harem pants, which for some that might be really desirable. But anyway, yeah, so I've got these lovely, like, kind of striped bottoms now. And then I've got, like, you can really see the print merging together. Like here, maybe so I'm actually starting to see kind of like clothes on there as well. So we've got this like almost like off the shoulder element going on here, which I really like. And then it's almost as though there's another garment underneath. But basically it just starts to give you some ideas on how to distribute your print or pattern onto the body. If you, and now I'm talking to people who might be interested in designing, but if you're like, I really don't like print, these could have just been colours. Okay? Anyway, let me move on because some of you may find that not very interesting. So I'll tell you what we're going to do next to finalise this. Okay guys, so here is one I made earlier. Yeah, so I thought maybe you didn't want to see me sticking lots of things down, but what I've done is I've got another piece of paper and I've started to decorate the page, and I've made my my fashion figure the key focus. Okay, so yeah, stick it, do that again, pause the video or do that in your own time, and yeah, maybe put a background on there. I've collaged some paper on there. I've also got some little hearts, and I've got my lip again, so kind of reference. I've got loads of lips on here, on the bag. So, oh, and my little speech bubble. I'm always into speech bubble these days. So, you know, that makes it kind of fun. And maybe I'll just finishing touch, just gonna put a little touch of grass on there. So they are just having a little walk. There you go. So yeah, hopefully you find that kind of fun. And again, this is kind of going out to people who are designers or students. Like, this is really playful and naive, but that's kind of within keeping of my kind of style. But try and think of ways how you could make it more relevant to yourself. Perhaps rather than using lots of these heavy patterns and crayons, you'd be using watercolors, for example. And then I think it could make it a little bit more sophisticated, take a little bit more time with your cutting out and kind of care more, because I kind of didn't care what the figure looked like. I like it to be, the weirder the better, really. But yeah, so yay, that is your first finished illustration. So yeah, I'd love to see, oh, let's get rid of that. I'd love to see yours once you've done it. So that's that, and now I'm just going to show you what we're going to do with this. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, so get another piece of paper and then put this template, this stencil on top of the paper. I can imagine you have figured out what we're going to do. If you haven't, I will very quickly show you. So we're going to stencil through the middle. Oh my goodness, we're going to try. Maybe just to help you, you might want to stick some of the sides down, just might make it easier, but hopefully you can struggle through. Make sure the color that you're using as the base is light, because we're going to work on top of it. And again, this works really nicely with like an ink or a watercolor. And again, if you're looking for something a little bit more elevated, yeah, you're going to get that perhaps more so with the watercolor. Ta-da! Okay, so we have, and once you see this, you can kind of see how accurate, or in my case, how inaccurate, is that a word? Your figure was. Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do next is we're now going to dress the person, and I'm going to take my Lulu piece and I'm going to use that as inspiration. But again, you can use, actually I'm going to extend it a little bit, exaggerate it a bit more. Although when I look at these sleeves, if you can see them, they are a little bit more voluminous than I had first imagined. So notice that I'm not just tracing around the I'm not just tracing around the outline, I'm adding new details on there. I'm going to have a little bit of a kind of ruched, or maybe smocked sleeve there. I don't know why I chose to do that. And again, let's have this extended shoulder. I'm going to put in a face. Ta-da, there we go. She's got bunches on the pouch, so let's give her some bunches here. But you can see this technique really gives you the chance to play and to experiment. And of course you've got that template, why not do a few different versions, put some hands in, it's always useful. Again, you know, those are ridiculously, well, just kind of weird hands, but that's what I like. Gonna put some big, large, oversized boots on there. You know, feel free to do as you please, because, you know, if you're using the product, if you're using my artwork to inspire you, there are no shoes. So, you know, we get to make it up. Maybe I'll look at my drawing that I just did in terms of, yeah, maybe I'll use those for the tights or something. So we've got that, and then now I'm looking at my artwork that I've just created, and so I'm going to put some stripes on here that will reference that. Again, I've gone out of the lines a little bit, that's okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a combination, take it back to those patterns again, and yeah, I mean, I call it playing, but essentially, you know, can I put this on here, I wonder? Oh yeah, I think that works. Yeah, I'm saying, I'll put that at the end. I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm just playing, but essentially, I'm designing. It doesn't have to be this, serious, scary thing. I really think, notice I really like to press very hard with the equipment. That brings me some joy. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this serious thing. And I often find, well, let's give her a hair color. I wish there were people here and they could yell to me, what color hair? Yeah, I'll say it again and again. It doesn't have to be serious, and I find a lot of my favorite things that I've created have, have been created out of play and enjoyment. So yeah, there's my final piece. So hopefully you have kept up. If you haven't, you're gonna continue and finish, and you should have 2 finished pieces of artwork I might just put a little extra heart on, why not? All inspired by my Lulu piece. Yay! So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. Please like share anything you've done. I would love to see it. And yeah, yeah, that's it. Keep safe and go shopping. Bye.